About Senator Robert Brown.
Well, I first encountered Brother Robert around 1976, 1977, when I first began to become active in the struggle community in the Nation of Islam. And we had several thought-provoking and inspiring conversations as to what could be done, what should be done, what we're doing, what we're not doing about the plight and the condition of black people in the Macon, Middle Georgia area. And I thought that Brother Robert was always a very sincere, deep-thinking individual, provided a lot of insight into the problems at hand. As the brother was saying in there earlier, he was a man of integrity, intelligence, and I guess like Rick Perry, I can't remember the third one, but he was all of that. He was all of that. And I drove down from Atlanta, which is where I live now, just to pay my respects to my brother today because of what he meant to me personally and what he meant to black people and really all people in Macon, which I still love Macon myself, you know, immensely. So I felt compelled to show my face today and paying respect and honor to my dear beloved brother.
Tell us about Robert Brown. Anything you want to tell us.
Wonderful person. Talked to him maybe a week before he passed. I did political advertising for the radio stations since 1989. So I dealt with him in all of his races and in those that he supported. And he learned to trust me, and I learned to be very close to him. And I'll miss him terribly.
Thank you. Okay. Tell us about Senator Robert Brown.
Robert was a tremendous legislator who cared about his community, but cared about the state of Georgia and refused to allow anybody to turn the clock of time back. He's been a fighter ever since I knew him, and I went in the General Assembly before Robert did. And when I met Robert, I knew that we had somebody in the state Senate that could carry the weight and do the right thing for us African Americans in this state.
Thank you very much.
Senator Robert Brown was a long life friend of mine. It was low key. Back in the 70s, when I first became knowledgeable, knew Senator Brown, we lived out off of Montfort Road in Bellevue. He was my next door neighbor, and he was very private. He was always been a private person, and you know, we would casually meet sometime. I was out on the porch or whatever, and he came from the ground roots up. You know, I moved and he moved, and the next thing I know, he was on the school board, and the next thing I know, he was in the Senate. And every time I ever asked his help for anything or advice, he was pronto, and it's a great loss. It was devastating. I got the news when we was in the city council committee meeting, and right away I got up and went to his home, and I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. But you know, that has been a great loss to this community as a whole, and especially the black community. And it's kind of scary that we are losing so many great leaders here in Macon, Georgia, that's black. He was a very, very strong leader, and nobody knows why he decided to take that way out, but you know, it's in God's hand. But you know, Senator Brown was a very, very intelligent, very well respected, you know, by all people, regardless of the people who made negative remarks about him. That's why they did it, because they feared him. Yeah. But Senator Robert Brown was one of a kind.
Tell us about Robert Brown.
Robert Brown was probably one of the finest human beings I've ever known in my life. Robert was very special to me. If it had not been for him, I probably wouldn't have been inducted into the Music Hall of Fame. And he was also dedicated to helping the Hall of Fame, which was brought us closer together. He and I both worked on getting Hamp Swain from Macon inducted, and Roy Hamilton from Albany, Georgia as well. But Robert was just a wonderful friend. He always was close with my brother and I both, and just a spiritual, wonderful, comfortable feeling person, you know. And it just tore me apart when I heard the news. But you know, I had known about Robert's health for a while and lived through the last one with him, and he told me at that point before that had he not been in excellent health, he wouldn't have survived the first stroke, you know. And Georgia, the world itself, has lost a wonderful person here. This man had an open mind and an open heart, and those two together mean so much. He fought for what he knew was right, and he's like me. He believed finishing was everything, not just starting the project, but finishing it was the main issue, you know.